Good day, everyone. My name is Israel Oladapo, popularly known as ITF, Easy Talking Fingers. I'm a privileged musician and a musicologist, and today I want to talk about a subject in music titled scale, the musical scale. Now, let's explore the world of musical scales. Now, what is a musical scale? A musical scale is a selection of musical notes in ascending and descending order within an octave according to a specific scheme. All right? A selection of musical notes in ascending and descending order within an octave according to a specific scheme. Now, I want to quickly talk about some of these keywords that I underlined in this definition. The first is ascending. Whenever you hear the word ascending, ascending talks about moving forward. Moving forward. Whenever you hear the word descending, it talks about moving backwards. Right? Now, whenever you hear the word octave, it is the distance between a note and the next occurrence of the note. It could be either above or below. Now, I'm going to explore this briefly because I'm going to ensure that you understand every vocabulary in my teaching. I'm going to break down this topic and other topics that I'm going to be talking about to make music very interesting for you to comprehend. All right, go along with me. Now, when you say octave, I believe you've written this down if you want to write it down. When you say octave, let me explain from the perspective of the music alphabet. All right? C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Take for instance, from this C to the next C is an octave. Let's take for instance A, B. I know this does not make any sense to you yet because you are seeing some letters like the ash letter, all right? You are seeing some symbols like the ash symbols. Does not make any sense yet, but it will. Now, from this point to this point is another octave, all right? So from A to the next occurrence of that A is another octave. Or from this higher A downwards to the next A is an octave. So you could be talking about an octave in either ascending order or descending order. So just know that an octave talks about the distance between a note or a key and the next time that key comes up in your lineup of musical notes. Don't worry, as we flesh these things out, you will understand better. All right, so I'm going to talk about the musical scale. I'm going to break this down under two divisions. Scale. We'll talk about the chromatic scale. And we'll talk about the diatonic scale. Now, in the topic I treated the last time, talking about the keys of music, the 12 keys of music and the relationship between them, I made you understand that there are 12 keys of music. There are 7 natural keys, which are the A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And we have 5 other sharp and flat keys in between them, which are the other ones I mentioned. And I spoke about the relationship between them. Now, chromatic, when you hear the word chromatic scale, it talks about it encompasses of all the notes of music from that key of interest to the octave note, either ascending or descending, moving in semitones. Moving in semitones. And so I like to say that there are 12 notes comprised in the chromatic scale. 12 notes, but we have 13 pitches in all. There are 12 notes, but we have 13 pitches in all. Now, the specific scheme for constructing the chromatic scale is just semitones. Semitones only. That is, to construct the chromatic scale, all you need to do is to move from, let's take this as an example. I told you that to list out the letters of music alphabet, to do this preferably, because there's a very strong bond between B, C, E, F. And so after B, the next key to B is C. After E, the next key to E is F. But in between these points, we have some 5 other keys. And I'm just going to do a recap, a very quick one on that. So when you are moving forward, if you have listened to my first lecture, I said that I spoke about accidentals. I said that accidentals are musical symbols that are used to either raise, lower, or restore a musical note. Now, whenever you are moving forward, you use the symbol sharp. Now, whenever you see the symbol sharp, this is sharp, it raises a musical note by a semitone. Sharp raises a musical note by a semitone. It looks like ash, all right? And flat reduces a musical note by a semitone. It lowers a musical note by a semitone. So moving forward from here, I told you that the 5 other keys here don't have any new name introduced into music, but rather they get their names from the existing keys of music, which are from the existing letters of music, which makes up the music alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And so when you are moving forward, you call this key here A sharp. From where you have B, after B you have C. After C, this key in between here is called C sharp. After C sharp you have the D. After D you move forward and you have the key D sharp. After D sharp you have E, E to F, then F to the key in between, which is F sharp to G, G to the key in between, G sharp, and back to E. Now let's count. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now, this is the simple logic. I told you that we have 13 pitches. In music, pitch, please take note, you can jot that down, is the highness or lowness of a sound. Whenever you hear the word pitch, it refers to the highness or the lowness of a sound. So, it does not matter whether we have 12 notes, all right? The fact that you still have to climb up a half step to attain this A is talking about a different pitch entirely. So we have 12 notes, but 13 pitches in all, because A is already here. A is already here. So it's not a new note. It's not a new note, but because it is a new pitch. And so that's like do, di, re, mi, fa, fi, sol, si, la, li, ti, do. So from the do, if A is do, for example, to the do, 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 that's an octave distance. And when you move in this order, you have actually played your chromatic scale ascending. That was why I said the specific scheme for constructing the chromatic scale is just semitones only. Semitones only, that's the specific scheme. That talks about the formula on which the scale premises. All right, so this is our A chromatic scale ascending. Can I still write down? Okay, now let's talk about our A chromatic scale descending. All you need to do to get the descending is to rub off these sharp keys, because whenever you're talking about descending, please bear in your mind, this is a general principle in music, that whenever you're talking about descending, you don't use the word sharp. It's paradoxical for you to say I'm descending and you are using the word sharp. It does not happen. That will be a wrong concept or a wrong explanation in music. So whenever you're coming backwards, you know that the right word to use is flat. And so this arrow has to change from the ascending arrow to the descending arrow. Okay? Yeah, just follow me. I like to make my explanations detailed. So now, coming backwards, what you do is, once you're coming back from A, the new key here bears the name A flat, which is indicative of the fact that A is lowered by a half step. Simple. Don't forget, from my first class, I said flat lowers a musical note by a semitone. Another word for semitone is half step. So coming backwards from G, you have G flat, backwards to F, backwards to E, backwards to, this won't be called D sharp as in raising it ascending, but rather E flat, to D, back to D flat, to C, to B, then B flat, and back to A. So this is your A chromatic scale descending. I hope you find this very, very interesting. It's as simple as that. But the things you have to take note, don't forget, in my definition of the scales, I said a musical scale is a selection of musical notes in ascending and descending order within an octave according to a specific scale. So initially I spoke about the ascending order of the chromatic scale, and now I have just explained the descending order of the chromatic scale using A as an example. So you could actually start from any of the keys. It could be B, it could be C, it could be E flat, could be C sharp, could be F sharp. And all you need to do is to move in semitones from that key of interest to the octave note. And by the time you have done that correctly, you'll figure out that you have 13 notes in all, but 13 pitches in all, but 12 notes. So I'm going to give you a classwork right now as you're watching. Try on your own right now to construct the B chromatic scale ascending and the B chromatic scale descending. After the B, try the D chromatic scale ascending and the D chromatic scale descending. I hope this helps to explain the chromatic scale. If you have any question, reach me, connect with me directly, and I would explain your questions. I'll give explanations to your questions. Now, very quickly, let me talk about the diatonic scale. The diatonic scale comprises of 7 notes, but 8 pitches. 7 notes, but 8 pitches. And the specific thing for the diatonic scales is tones and semitones in no particular order. Okay, the specific order is determined by the scale in particular. Now, but before we talk about that, let's talk about the types of diatonic scale. Now, I said it comprises of 7 notes but 8 pitches. We call that the heptatonia primer. Let me just write that in bracket here. Heptatonia primer. I'm going to explain what I mean by this. I know it sounds like I'm speaking in tongues here, but I'm going to explain. Now, the diatonic scale is further divided into 2, which is the major scale, all right, and the minor scale. Now, the minor scale can be further divided, the diatonic minor scale can be further divided into the natural minor scale, melodic minor scale, and the harmonic minor scale. Right, so for the minor scale, you have the natural minor scale, the melodic minor scale, and the harmonic minor scale. When I'm saying natural, melodic, and harmonic, I mean the natural diatonic scale, the natural minor scale of the diatonic broad scale, of course. Natural minor, melodic minor, and the harmonic minor. So under the diatonic scale. But our focus for today will end on the major scale. The major scale. In fact, this is one of the most important scales. This is very basic and elementary to any musician. All right, so you must take it to heart. I'm going to bring out this subject matter, or should I say this particular caption of heptatonia prima. What do I mean by that? For those of you who did mathematics, or who are scientists, or you studied sides, angles, you will know that you have a triangle for 3 sides, rectangle for 4 sides. Then talking about the polygons, you have the pentagon 5 sides, hexagon 6 sides, and the heptagon 7 sides. The word heptatonia prima talks about 7, hepta meaning 7. So that talks about 7 notes. The prima talks about the octave note. So once you always remember this word heptatonia prima, it refers you back to the notes of the music, of the notes in the diatonic major scale and the octave note. All right, so let's bring it down to the major scale. Major scale. Okay, this is interesting. One of the very important things you need to take note of course, as I said earlier, is the specific scheme for the construction of the major scale, which is tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. This must not be traded for anything. Now, you must take note of the fact that these are not musical notes. These are distances, types of distances, all right, in music. In my earlier class, I already explained what a tone is, which is a whole step comprising of 2 half steps. Okay, let me just quickly do a recapitulation. Now, I'm going to use these figures to explain what I'm saying. When you move from 1 to 2 in music, you have moved by a semitone. The distance from 1 to 2 is a semitone distance. The distance from 2 to 3. So I'm going to explain what I mean by tones and semitones again briefly. I'm just going to recapitulate what I said about them in the first class. So when you're moving from 1 to 2, explaining with these figures, let's take these figures for musical notes. When you are moving from 1 to 2, it is a semitone distance. When you are moving from 2 to 3, it is a semitone distance. From 3 to 4, semitone. From 4 to 5, semitone. From 5 to 6, semitone. On and on like that. But when you move from 1 to 3, you have moved by a tone. Because 2 semitones make 1 tone. Just like you learn in school that 2 semicircles make 1 circle. Alright, of course, when you hear the word semi, it means half. So the distance from 1 to 2, semitone, 2 to 3 semitone, 1 to 3 semitone. Let's take for instance the distance from 3 to 5 is also a tone, whereas 3 to 4 is a semitone, 4 to 5 is a semitone. So you just know that skipping one key in the middle and moving to the next, you have moved by a tone. Now, I already explained in the first class too that there are some keys that have semitone relationships. That is the standard everywhere. And these keys are B to C, E to F. Other keys, these keys are semitone related. All right. For tone, A to B is a tone, C to D is a tone, D to E is a tone, F to G is a tone, G to A is a tone, A to B is a tone. So you'll see that after A to B, we have B to C, which is a semitone. After C to D, we have D to E, and there's supposed to be E to F, but that is also a semitone. So we have these two keys to be semitone related. Please, you must take note of this. Never ever forget this. Now, if this is the case, let's now apply this principle of tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone to construct our major scale. Now, principles. Or guidelines to constructing major scale. Principles or guidelines to constructing the major scale. 1. The first law or principle is that all the letters of the music alphabet must be involved. And the principle 2 is that follow the specific scheme. For the first law, this must lead to the octave note. It must lead to the octave note. Then follow the specific scheme, of tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Let me add this 3. Always remember that there are semitone relationships between B to C and E to F. Always remember this. Now, let's follow the first principle to get started. Example 1. I want to construct the A major scale. The A major scale. Now, what do you do? The first principle says that all the letters of the musical alphabet must be involved. All the letters of the music alphabet must be involved. These must lead back to the octave note. Now, if I want to construct the A major scale, of course, A happens to be my area of concentration. So what do? I list out all the letters of music alphabet, starting from the key of interest. Okay, I did not add that into my principle, but please take note of that. Let me just rephrase this first law, or this first principle. All the letters of the music alphabet must be involved beginning from the key of interest. and leading to the octave note. I think that's, I would like to rewrite that way, but you can just rewrite it to save time. Rewrite it into your note as you're listening. The first law is all the letters of the music alphabet must be involved from the key of interest, leading back to the octave note. Leading to the octave note. Now, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Please stop drumming. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Now, what do you do? Very simple. Don't forget that I said you only have semitone relationships between B, C, E, F. Other keys are tone related. Now, from A to B, there is a tone. And the first principle says tone. Alright? So this is correct. The second principle says tone. Now, from B to C is a semitone. Don't forget. And you need a tone. What do? You raise C to C sharp. And when you raise C to C sharp, the distance from B to C sharp has become a tone. Then that becomes correct. The distance from C sharp to D is a semitone. That's correct. The distance from D to E is a tone. Correct. Okay, let's mark. We didn't mark this. Tone, correct. B to C sharp, tone, correct. C sharp to D is semitone, correct. Now, D to E is a tone, correct. E to F is a semitone, but we need a tone according to this principle. So what do? We raise F to F sharp, and that enlarges the interval. All right, so it becomes a tone from there, and so we can mark this now. The next says, okay, let me use the barrier for this. Tone. The next says tone. Now the distance from F sharp to G is actually a semitone, but we need a tone. What do? We raise G also to G sharp. And after doing that, we have a tone. This is tone. Then G sharp to A is a semitone. Correct. Now, this is it. There's no way you will follow this principle. One of the interesting things about this is that there's no way you follow this principle and you will not arrive at your answer. It is not possible. Whenever you follow this principle, you will definitely arrive at your answer. So the A major scale is A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. This is what you play on your musical instruments, and we'll give you the sound do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. All right. Now, I think I need to make some further expositions as touching the B, C sharp, B, C sharp. You know, some of you may still be finding it difficult. How did he arrive at a tone for E to F sharp or F sharp to G sharp? Let me do some further explanations on that. Okay. Now, if the distance from E to F is a semitone, then the distance from E to F sharp is a tone. That's the simple fact. From C sharp to D, from C sharp to D, okay, let me just number this as 2. Let me number this as 3. From C sharp to D is a semitone. So if I have from C sharp to D and up to D sharp, that will be a tone. Okay, so it's just as simple as that. If you now have, let's take for example, from B, okay, I think this is just good to go. This is good to go. So that explains how we get our tones and semitones. One more example, and we are done. The B major scale. Don't forget the principle. The principle states that you follow tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Okay, and the first thing I said you should always do is that write out all the letters of the music alphabet from the key of interest. Now in this case, B is our key of interest, so we list them out, leading to the octave note. Now B to C, yeah, you should remember that too. B to C, E to F are semitone related keys. B to C, E to F are semitone related keys. So B to C is a semitone, but the principle says tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. You can sing that over and over again. Tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone, tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. B to C should give us, you know, of course, it will give us a semitone, but we need a tone. What do? We raise this distance, we raise this C to C sharp, and so now we have a larger margin, a larger interval, and now we have achieved tone. So we can tick this. C sharp to D is a semitone, but we need a tone, so we raise this, and then you have a tone. D sharp to E, okay, that's for C sharp to D sharp. D sharp to E is a semitone. This is just correct. We take this. E to F is a semitone, but we need a tone. What do? We raise F to F sharp, and then we have achieved a tone. Correct. F sharp to G is a semitone, but we need a tone according to the principle. What do? We raise G to G sharp, and we have achieved the tone. G sharp to A, okay, that's the tone. G sharp to A is a semitone, but we need a tone. What do? We raise A to A sharp, and we have achieved a tone. We take this. A sharp to B is just simply a semitone, and that is it. So your B major scale therefore is B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, and B. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is the heptatonia and here is the primer. I hope you found this very, very interesting. So feel free to contact me for further teachings on 07037820783. I call it again, 07037820783. Once again, my name is Israel Oladapo, ITF, the director of ITF Global House of Music. You can always follow me on Facebook. I'm Israel Oladapo. The music organization also has a Facebook account, ITF Global House of Music. You can follow me on Instagram at Easy Talking Fingers, at IZZIETALKING then fingers, Easy Talking Fingers. Of course, the organization also has an Instagram account at ITF Global House of Music. Then you can also follow me, of course, as you're reaching out to me right now, on YouTube at Israel Oladapo. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this YouTube page so that you can get more updates from me. Thank you. Thank you for listening.